Hello, kindred spirits. Today I am in a place that used to be a favorite place of mine. This is part of our backyard, which I'll show in a moment. And I'm standing on our two-story deck with the tree canopy above me. And this used to be a favorite place of mine. I used to create out here a lot. This was the first spot that we actually began growing and raising things. For those of you who might follow me on Instagram, I explained in one of my posts that we are farmers and we are looking for a new property to move to now. And so I've been doing some manifestation rituals and some spell work around that. But while we are here, we are still appreciative of the place that we are in. And it is a very important place because it was kind of the start of everything for me. And in 2020, we experienced several traumas, and then I became ill and wasn't able to come out here anymore like I used to. And because of that, a lot of the plants that we had started suffered. I was not able to be really up on the care of my animals like I wanted to be. My partner was sick also, and so some things just kind of suffered out here. And then our area, our state, was hit with a very contagious virus that goes through wild rabbits and also domestic rabbits. We do raise rabbits. I had 4 here that I love very much, and they all succumbed to that virus because I wasn't able to be up on, the biosecurity of our area like I wanted to be at that time. So I have neglected this area for a long time. It's been empty. I have tried to kind of hide from it because it is a source of trauma for me. But today I wanted to bring you along while we kind of clean it up and get things going again. So these are the woods behind our house. This is my view. I used to come out here and meditate quite a bit, and it really was one of my favorite places, just sitting out here, getting in touch with nature. This tree in particular has been a source of grounding and also entertainment for me. I have met very many wild animals, in particular raptors. I am a big fan of birds of prey, and I've met many in this tree, sitting up on this deck meditating. And so like I said, it was a once beautiful place, and it's kind of gone to ruin right now. But we are going to do some cleaning up while I talk about the energies that are surrounding us right now and some of the spell work that I am going to be embarking on over the next few weeks. Okay, so it started storming, so we are going to come just into my normal workspace today, and maybe we'll be able to get back to that space and do some cleaning and some things at some point later on this week. And by the way, if you don't follow me on Instagram, I talked about setting up my altar for communing with Cernunnos and for the winter solstice and Yule. And so if you didn't get a chance to see that, here it is. It is one of the altars I am more proud of. I think it is absolutely beautiful, and it is a wonderful place to be able to come and meditate.
Hello. Hi.
So now that we are all set up inside, I thought that I might sit and talk to you guys while I do some work about the new moon that we just had. Obviously, that just passed on December the 4th, which was Saturday. And those energies are still in effect even now. And so I wanted to talk a little bit about those energies and what they mean for us as witches and how I normally handle new moons and new moon rituals. And I thought I would bring you along while I do some work. This little bonsai is kind of like my spirit tree in a way. It is the tree that, or the plant that helps me feel most connected with my ancestors. And it is, interestingly, the tree that tends to bring out a lot of my psychic experiences when I do have them. So it needs a little love. It's suffering a little bit because of winter. And so I'm going to do some things to kind of help it through the winter. We're not getting as much sunlight now as we normally do, and it loves sunlight. And, you know, we're actually going to be really cloudy and rainy all this week. And in addition to that, it's gotten a lot colder and it just doesn't do really well in those conditions. You can see it's kind of suffering a little bit. So we are going to do some healing work for this tree. I am going to repot it. I am going to give it some friends, and we are going to do a little bit of healing work for it while I talk about new moons and new moon rituals. I want to take a little time to go over some points about this new moon total solar eclipse in Sagittarius, because even though many of us are witches here, and not all of us may study astrology or work with astrological information or celestial bodies, these celestial bodies and their placements, their transits through the heavens, their interactions with the earth and with the elements of the earth do have an effect on us. They affect our bodies and minds. They affect our psychic centers, and they can affect the magic that we are able to produce. So I want to go through the energies that are surrounding us during this time so that we have a better understanding of how to work with these energies to get the results that we want in our practices. So new moons are typically best for setting intentions and manifesting because the energy around us is drawn toward us during this time. We become energetically like magnets during this time. This new moon, however, is a little different. It is conjunct the South Node, which is about, where we've been, the things we've done, the things that we're used to. And so because this new moon is conjunct, it suggests that there's an interruption or a disruption in things that we would normally have access to. So it sounds to me like during this time, we're going to have to learn to rely on different senses, different knowledge, different information, and different sources in order to get the results that we want. This total solar eclipse is the endpoint in the Gemini Sagittarius eclipse cycle, which started back in May of 2020. This energy suggests that we are arriving at a new place in our lives or in our current journeys. This energy is representative of shadows that need to be addressed. Eclipses normally suggest shadow. They hide the light. They block things that would normally be available to us. And so this energy is also suggestive of portals to new states of consciousness, but there is that element of the shadows needing to be addressed before we are able to go through those portals. There is an energy of needing to learn to release, to let go of what is no longer serving us in order to make space for the new. There is a theme of major transformation in order to level up here. And it suggests that we are in the final steps of this leg of our current journey. So we are standing in a doorway, not yet crossed the threshold. And the energy surrounding this new moon total solar eclipse in Sagittarius suggests that there are things that we need to do. There are tasks that we need to complete. There are cords that need to be cut. There are things that we need to let go of and move on from in order to be safely allowed to step over that threshold and to cross over into the new. One thing that I want us to be aware of is that there is a karmic element to this new moon total solar eclipse in Sagittarius. There is a element of karmic debts that are owed, that are now going to be collected on. There is an element of reaping what has been sown during this entire cycle. So this is something that we need to keep in mind for several reasons. Karmic debts are not something that we can always control. Sometimes we are able to work back through traumas and situations in our generational line in order to help heal some of that karma. Sometimes it is just necessary for time to transpire in order for these karmic debts to be paid and to expire on their own. And so this to me suggests that it's not a time to be asking for a lot. It's not a time to be doing a lot or manifesting a lot. It's a time to sit back and reflect and be cautious, because we want to see how these things are going to play out over the next few weeks. With new moons, with total solar eclipses, with any eclipse, it's not just a day or 2 days that the energy lasts. This energy can last for several days leading up to the event. This energy can last for several days to a week to a few weeks following the event. And so we want to be able to sit back and use that Sagittarius energy of wanting to learn, to see what this cycle is going to bring for us, to understand how to move with the current, instead of bulldozing ahead to try and manipulate or affect things in our own way. Now, there's also activity from Mercury and Neptune that suggests that there is new or hidden information that may be revealed during this time, possibly deeper truths that may be revealed. And so one of the qualities of Sagittarius is learning, is exploring. And so during this time, we do not want to take anything at face value. We always want to dig a little deeper. And then we want to really focus on listening to our intuition. Neptune in particular is a very spiritual planet. It is a planet of intuition. And so we really want to use that power within us, our inner voice at this time, and learn to listen to that intuition so that it can help us to decipher the true meaning behind what we're seeing and hearing right now. So if you follow astrology at all, you may have heard about Chiron, the asteroid that's known as the Wounded Healer, going retrograde back in July of this year. With all of the energies that are surrounding this new moon total solar eclipse in Sagittarius, Chiron is one of those energies. It is coming back into focus as it prepares to go direct later this month. And so one of the things to be, I guess, kind of grateful for is that Chiron is actually bringing the energy of support for healing the relationships in our lives, whatever those relationships may be. But one of the interesting things to kind of keep in mind is that the relationship that needs the most healing could be the one that you have with yourself. So use this time and this energy of Chiron to kind of approach the healing of relationships, whether it be with others or yourself, with love and patience, and kind of use that Sagittarius energy of being willing to learn and wanting to learn in order to help heal these relationships. Along with all the other energies we talked about, one of the things that's really coming through is an energy of really tapping into intuition, as I said before, but really letting go and trusting the process. There may be things that aren't quite, that don't seem quite right now. There may be things that are a little confusing, especially with Mercury and some of the other energies that are going on right now. Things may not be very clear. something that you're hoping to happen, maybe happening in a slightly different way than maybe you thought or maybe you planned. And so right now we need to be learning to trust the process. Definitely tap into the intuition and make sure that we're really listening to that in order to hear these truths that are coming through, the truths that are below the surface right now. And also, it's really important right now to avoid forcing or pushing something that isn't meant for you. So that could be a variety of things. It could be a relationship, it could be a job, it could be, certain types of spell work if you're, a witch who is practicing right now. It could be, something else that's going on in your life. And so it's important right now to not push, not force anything that is not for you right now, and to really trust the process and really listen to our intuition so that we can avoid forcing those things that aren't for us. Except for him. He forces his love a lot, but I'm totally okay with it. So what does this mean for witches who are actively practicing right now? What types of magic should we be focusing on? Should we even be practicing right now? When it comes to these questions, I like to look at all of the energies surrounding a new moon or a full moon or an eclipse. So whether I decide to practice with a ritual or by crafting spells and potions, or by placing protections or communing with my ancestors, depends heavily on what is going on currently in the skies right now, as well as the season and any upcoming seasonal events. All of the energies right now are really saying to go inward instead of working to manipulate outer forces. I am a huge proponent of shadow work, and as we're making our way through the dying season, I have mentioned it a lot as an aspect of practice that all of us should be focusing on right now. And even more than that, release, letting go, going or focusing inward, ending, cutting cords, and closing off have been the major themes of this entire Gemini-Sagittarius eclipse cycle since about May of 2020. That could be why you've been hearing these themes a lot over and over in readings on YouTube or other places for the past several months. The placements of Mars and Jupiter at the time of the new moon, total solar eclipse in Sagittarius, at the time Mars was square to Jupiter, suggests that this is a time of making adjustments or accommodations. This is in line with the energy of the new moon being conjunct the South Node, suggesting that there may be an interruption or disruption of something we might be used to having regular access to. So this energy seems to be really calling us to recognize that there is a need to shift away from what we're used to and a need to learn to trust other senses and other sources of info. That may be the adjustment or accommodation that we'll need to be making during this time. So instead of using this new moon to manifest and craft spells or continue workings that focus on manipulating the world outside of ourselves, I would suggest going inward and focusing on self and shadow self in order to clear yourself and your space completely of energetic or karmic blockages so that we can start the new calendar year with a fresh, clean slate that is optimal for healthy spell work and manifestation. We are in a season where things are naturally dying away to make room for renewal. This is a natural cycle, and as witches, we should be moving in line with that natural cycle. However, there is spell work that can be appropriate for honoring these energies. Crafting cleansing washes, performing cleansing and purification rituals, placing crystals such as black obsidian, selenite, smoky quartz, or citrine around your spaces to cleanse or transmute negative energies, to boost physical energy, to relieve stress, to help ground you, and to encourage optimism. And crafting and drinking herbal teas that can assist with physical detoxification can be great bits of magic for this new moon with a total eclipse in Sagittarius. and invest in your own mental and physical health by meditating and grounding regularly. During this time when a lot of us may be experiencing a lot of emotional upheaval, focusing on healing our root chakra can also be extremely important, as the root chakra is our base and rules our most basic senses of security and stability. A healthy root chakra can give us a solid physical and spiritual foundation for our craft and helps us to enjoy a better connection to the earth, leading to better and more fulfilling elemental and earth spirit work in the future. And keep in mind that meditation isn't only about sitting down cross-legged with your eyes closed. The sign of Sagittarius naturally loves adventure and nature, so consider going outside for a walk or a hike, or sitting out among the trees for some quiet breath work. These are just a few suggestions based on the energies that are surrounding us right now. Always make the best choices for your practice and really use this time to stand in your own truth and also allow others to stand in theirs. If you are interested in how you can meditate and progress through your shadow work during this time and the time leading up to the new calendar year, I have a series that is starting tomorrow with daily guided meditations around the themes I discussed in this video. Anyone can listen to and enjoy these meditations, but they will be especially helpful if you do practice witchcraft or any other type of energy work. So thank you for taking some time out of your day to spend with me. I have got guided meditations coming up daily starting tomorrow, as well as some really fun stuff for winter solstice and Yule and Kwanzaa to take us into the new calendar year. So I hope you'll come back for all of that, and I hope that you will stop by to say hello in the comments, because I want to try to get to know everyone who comes to spend some time with me. I am so glad you're here, and I will see you in the next video. Until then, take care.